Time right now at 9:18 here on Live Impact News. The Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office making headlines on two fronts, from a national stage in law enforcement to summer camp right here at home. And then we're going to talk about things in between. Sheriff Gary McFadden joining us here in the Live Impact studio now. Sheriff, thanks for joining us here. Haven't seen you in a while.
Thank you. Yes, been very busy.
You have been traveling. Okay, so I know we connected via Zoom last week. You were at the National Sheriff's Association convention in Omaha, Nebraska. What were the big takeaways?
The big takeaways is AI, mental health, and of course bringing the National Sheriff Association annual summer convention here in Charlotte, North Carolina on the 21st and 24th of June of next year. So
okay.
Planning for that.
All right, yeah. So that's a lot to cover there, from AI to bringing it here. Now, why here? How is Mecklenburg County chosen?
Well, they look at progressive cities, and then they look at the sheriff, of course. No, I'm just joking. They asked a couple of years ago, and it's kind of going to line where they're going across America, and want to make sure that every region is represented. So we are kind of in a southeastern region, and of course we have some progressive ideas we want to show them. So we're going to show off our city and our sheriff's office.
All right. Anything you can tell us that we're going to show off?
Well, I mean, no, we have a great we have a lot of programs here. We run the Ignite program, which is the program that creates other programs in sheriff's offices all across America. We were the second or third launch site, and I'm a chairman of that board. So programs inside detention centers across the United States, within the jails and within the sheriff's office is my big baby. And so because of that, we'll be showing that off here. The sheriff's house, we're going to show our programs and our post-release center, which most sheriffs do not have, and we're trying to tell them this is what they need to have.
Yeah. What does it say about Charlotte, where this city and county stand out from the rest of the country? What does that say about the enforcement community here?
We're very progressive. Most people don't think so, that we are, no matter what critics talk about here in Charlotte. We're progressive. We are a model to follow. So we want people to know that. And instead of criticizing about it so much, if you come down and take a look at it, you will be proud of your sheriff's office.
All right. What are some of the issues then for the country? Are there some common themes that the sheriff's offices and law enforcement are struggling or wrestling with?
Yes. Immigration, mental health, jail capacity, and mental health for our staff and our officers. That is definitely the same theme across the country. And then we get down to budgeting and items that we need that we may not get funding for. But the others, mental health, overcrowding, mental health for our staff, those are the key takeaways.
Yeah, and then what is your role when it comes to planning the convention to be here and being the host sheriff?
Well, we're going to be the host, so we're going to have special receptions. We hope we're going to have a community day where we're going to go into community. That is not a common thing, but I'm going to ask for that we spend a day or a couple of hours in our local communities giving back to the community. But we're going to be deeply into the planning stages within a couple of days, I believe.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about some of these themes. The detention center, overcrowding, again, it definitely an issue for Mecklenburg County. How bad is it right now?
It is still bad. Our capacity, and I'm always going to say that, is 1791. We have not reached under 2,100 since March of this year. And so it is crowded. We just talked about it the other day. One pod should contain 53 people. We have 84. So even though that they're sleeping on a semi apparatus that will be for comfort for them sleeping on it, but listening to this, the residents, you can't sleep. Somebody's stepping over you, or somebody using the phone. Even if you want to take a nap during the day, you can't because you're in the middle of the room. If you have 6 to 8 phones inside, that's only for 84 people. Think about it. 84 people wanting to use a phone, and you only have 6 to 8 phones. Showers, 8 to 16 showers, 84 people. Medical path, we have a lot of people inside with medical conditions. I spoke with the medical staff a couple of days ago, and we average about 100 people visiting, the medical unit per day. But also we have at least 1,000 people that having medication need to be provided to them every day, med passes as we call them. So it is overcrowding, 300 to 400 more than we're usually accustomed to.
Oh, wow. And what is the cause?
Well, here's the cause. Most of the cause is we have to talk about this. Citizens are still committing activities that will make them come to jail. Have to be careful because you said allegedly. Okay, well, allegedly they're committing crimes. No, they're committing a crime and they're coming to jail. And then we have the economy. Most people can't bond out of jail. We have people there on trespassing charge who've been there for 2, 3, and 4 months. Members of our staff talk about it every day. We have individuals inside our detention center who have been waiting to go to trial and have their case adjudicated 6 years, 5 years. 3 years is a common time. We talk about the average state. You can always talk about that and mix the numbers, but we have people who've been there, citizens waiting to go to trial. 6, 5, 4 years is a common theme.
Oh, wow. And right now, you said roughly 100 people who have been sentenced who should go to the state prison system are still in your facility. Why are they still there?
Well, we looked at the other day, we thought we were dancing around 50 to 60, and I had a staff member come to me yesterday say, Sheriff, it's even worse. The state has 2 themes. They either don't have beds or they don't have staff. And it's always the theme. They have beds, but they don't have staff, or they have staff and no beds. So that's a common theme. But this causes us to still to be overcrowded because it is 60 to 100 people that have been sentenced or convicted that should be serving time in the Department of Adult Corrections, but they are not. They are here in Mecklenburg County. And
so any conversations with the state, and what are they telling you?
Well, if always, they don't have the space. They don't have the beds. 2 sheriffs last week asked other sheriffs across the state, do we have availability to house 20 to 30 people? So this is a common theme. Even though people say that it's not, it really is.
I feel like, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Your faculty and the resources that are just being drained all around. How do you work this on a day-to-day basis?
Well, we walk through the building, we talk to our staff, we encourage our staff, but the rock and a hard place, now the rock is actually on our backs. It is very tough. We have a great staff, but being overwhelmed every day for 12 hours. So imagine you are accustomed to dealing with 53 people a day, but now you're coming inside to 84 people, and a third of that are on the floor. And so you really have to have a great mindset when you come to work every day, but every single day you come to work knowing that it's going to be the same and not getting much better. And we have to say this, the community plays a part. The community plays a part in this, and we're going to have these conversations about recidivism, incarceration, mental health. When they come to our facility, they are in very poor health, also behavioral health. And everyone expects when they get there is the time for them to be treated. And that is also a strain on our staff and through the system.
And safety concerns, too, with the overcrowding between residents, detainees, and what have you, and the deputies as well, right?
Absolutely. Because now you have a mix of someone's room or someone storing their stuff on the floor, and how safe is that? Now we're dealing with, possible drugs. There are many ways. People think that drugs come in through a bag. No, they come in on envelopes or sprayed paper, and we're going to talk about that. You can simply just spray a piece of paper and mail it to your loved ones or send it through a book. And so we are having challenges, but my staff is there, and they are going to fight through it. And I have very I have very much confidence in my staff. Let me say that. My staff is in the middle of this. Yes, we complain sometime, but they still come to work.
And you're working on increasing your staff. How's that going?
Now, the increase in the staff is going well. The numbers are great so far. We think we're going to reach our goal by August, the number of people that we're going to hire. We have a class starting, which is 25, and we have 25 behind that. So we were looking for the number of 50. So we're going to reach that number and continue to hire people because we can't never have too much of staff.
Okay.
And so we still want people to come and apply.
All right, very good. And then you want to move as well to Jail North.
Yes, we want to move to Jail North. We're still in that process. Was out there yesterday looking at what we need to do. We have 2 staff members there now doing inventory for beds and phones and the equipment that we need. So that is going very well.
All right.
Very well.
Very good. Also, speaking of Jail North, is the escape camp taking place in part of that property?
Yes, our escape camp went live yesterday. We have about 55 to 60 kids. They came in. Some of the parents and kids could not wait. We usually pick up our kids and bring them, taking that burden off of the family. But a lot of the parents brought their kids because they just can't wait. The summer camp is a fantastic thing. I will invite anyone to come out and see the joy that we have with these kids. It's a big breakfast, a lot of love. And I think you need to come and see what the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office is doing for these wonderful children, free for summer, for 7 weeks. So I'm happy and excited about it. That makes my day every day that I go there.
Yeah, then Governor Roy Cooper visited in 2023. That was a big to-do because this is the 4th year. And so for people who are not familiar with the camp sheriff, how do people get involved and why does this benefit the community?
Well, it benefits the community where some of the parents struggle to find an appropriate camp for their kids during the summer. So we deal with these kids all through the school year, and we kind of pick them during the school year, and we also in many schools. And so these kids are from the visiting schools that we visited during the summer. But it's great for the kids, and some of the repeat offenders, as we say, repeat offenders in the summer camp, because they come and just have a great time and offend us while they're in camp because they bully us around, and we have a great time. But we love them, and we want them to understand that we are here for them. But the summer camp is great. But again, it costs. And it takes a lot of resources, but we're going to still do that for the kids.
Yeah, and then bringing them into this space that is part of Jail North. Is there a message there, for the kids that is taking place on this area?
Well, they know it very well. We have that conversation in some of the conversation, but we don't overburden them with this is what you're going to be facing if you don't do time. No, we don't talk to our kids like that. They clearly understand that if you are involved in any criminal activities, you are subject to be detained or arrested. So we know that, but we don't. It's not a scared straight program. This is a love program. This is where we want to give back and connect. So it's not a scared straight program, but although we do have those conversations with my staff and the young kids, but we don't scare them.
Okay. And deputies as well as detention officers, they serve actually as the camp counselors using their own talents and hobbies as part of the teaching. So what does a day in the life look like for both the escapee or the counselor? Well,
the day in the life yesterday is, imagine 55 kids who don't know each other, and the room is kind of quiet for the first hour, but about an hour into it, it gets very live. They have a great breakfast. I'll tell you, I saw something a kid was doing yesterday, which was crazy. We give them water, a lot of water, but the water is cold. So the challenge yesterday was to reaching down to the ice chest and see how long you can hold your hand there before you take it out. And that was a challenge for a lot of us. But the camps are exciting. We take the kids on field trips just about every day, or at least 2 or 3 times a week, going to the zoo for children who have never seen the zoo. It's a big thing. and we incorporate a lot of love, a lot of care, and I think that's the most important part. But we give them experiences that most of them will never have, and that's the big part.
Yeah, no, it's good. I have a problem with the water plunge as well. I'm
No,
like,
it's just
good
your
for-
hand. It's just your.
Oh,
it's
I
just-
do that too.
No,
Yeah.
you put your hand in and see it. And so, of course, we're going to have the National Hot Dog Day. That's a big thing. You come out to the park, and we serve 1,000 hot dogs to all the kids in the city who wants to come. But the water balloon fight is the highlight, and we're prepared for them again this year. I've been to Walmart and bought all the water balloon launchers that I can find, and so I have watched enough of Roman movies to watch the arrows go across the sky.
Perfect.
So we're ready for them this year.
Yeah, perfect. 360.
360, all of that. 360, tug of war. It's a lot of love, and that's what we love about it the most. It's a lot of love. They tug on your hearts, and then when they see you away from the camp, the expression that we see on their faces, the families just love us, and that's what we want to convey. It's a lot of love instead of trying to scare straight. No, it's a lot of love. It's a lot of competition, but we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and then it brings it back to that community engagement, which your office was recognized for as well. So
Yes, most people don't know. We competed in Dallas, and imagine the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office came out with being the best community engagement agency in the country, and including the Barbados. You have to say we are definitely the difference. And so we love that. But community engagement, we're always talking about engaging and breaking the barriers and, clarity. So this is what we are doing at the Sheriff's Office.
all right, Sheriff, very good. And so moving through the summer, people think that we kind of slow down, but your office and certainly you are on a roll here.
No, the summer brings a lot of challenges, and I must say we have to think about those citizens, and I have to talk about this, who will be evicted this week. It hurts my heart to think about that. My staff told me Thursday will be that big day again. We will be evicting 98 people out of their home. So when we talk about affordable housing, can you afford to live in a house? The income. And there are hard times, and summer brings a lot of challenging. A mother may not have the breakfast or lunch for her child during the summer because the schools provide that during the school year. And so we know we're going to get those calls, and we're going to try to do the best we can to assist our citizens and residents.
Yeah, I mean, and so it is systemic in working with local leaders, and now that we are trying to find an interim mayor who's going to be in the office for 18 months, how do you work with local leaders on something like affordable housing?
Well, we don't. I'm going to say we don't talk about that much with the local leaders. We give them our problems. We need to talk about evictions. It's hard to get, my father said this, it is sometimes hard to educate an educated person. I don't know why, but it is. And so when we're talking about affordable housing, we talk about evictions, they should go hand in hand, because most people believe that these people who are being evicted are in some type of criminal activity. No, they just have struggles with income, a steady flow of income. I don't think no father or mother can actually run a legitimate household on $17 an hour, because we're talking about rent, gas, clothing, food, and just utilities. $17 an hour is not going to make it. But we have people making that, but they do the best that they can. But affordable housing, we hear it all the time, affordable housing. But when you go around the city, there are a lot of apartments being built and a lot of homes and communities going up every day. Every time I go down the street, there's a new apartment complex going up. But can they afford to live there at the income that they're receiving now? That's the conversation that we need to start having. And it is important to have a good mayor. And it's important to have a good mayor, city council, a strong city council, and a strong mayor working together. That's the key, working together.
Are you working together here in Mecklenburg County?
I think that we have our challenges, and I'll say that. It's no secret. You can look at it. We have the challenges that most people have, but we don't want to have that on the sheriff's side, and we don't have that on the county commissioner's side with the sheriff's office. We have conversations, I can tell you, weekly with a lot of my county commissioners. And I want that. The county manager, I don't think there's a week has gone by that either I don't get a text or call about a concern. So I'm happy to say that we have a great relationship, and we want that relationship across the street to be great so they can come across the street and we work together. But having a strong interim mayor is important. 16 to 18 months is a long time. And a lot can happen in 16 to 18 months. And you can look at this nation, 1 year has changed a lot. And so 16 to 18 months is critical, and having the right person with the right talent is very important.
All right, well said. Mecklenburg County Sheriff Gary McFadden joining us. Always appreciate the frank conversation.
Always.
If you have a question for him, let us know, by the way, and we'll see if he's been pretty good about answering questions, transparent. So we'll continue talking to the sheriff this summer throughout his busy schedule. Thanks, Sheriff.
Thank you.
We'll be right back here on Live Impact News.